So what's the worst holiday your family ever went on?
None of them, Paul. They're all magical. Every moment cherished.
Fuck yeah.
I
mean, we always went on holiday to Wales, so it was just flawless every time.
Every time, different shades of gold. I guess it wasn't the holiday itself, but we went to Hunstanton once for a week or two. It was probably a week. I don't know. You could spend 2 weeks in Hunstanton. And when we got home, we found that the house had been burgled.
Oh, fuck.
And all of all the valuables gone. Which was obviously awful.
Yeah.
But luckily for me, as a 10-year-old, as I found out and then bounded downstairs to tell my dad, it's okay, they haven't taken my aftershave. so he was thrilled. He was so relieved.
What the fuck kind of 10-year-old were you?
I didn't.
It's all right. My pussycat is intact.
They didn't take my fucking big dick energy.
No one can take that from you, mate.
Not even as a child. Love that big dick energy.
Oh, here he comes.
Fuck, that's a sexy 10-year-old.
Mum, sorry.
You're so fucking sexy.
That doesn't care if it's turkey or emu. I should prefer emu, to be honest.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck those things.
Value for money. Wow.
Value for money and fuck those things. I hate them.
Skinny legs, I guess.
Do without them.
Yeah.
I'm Paul Salt.
I'm Mankurt Media.
Oh, Christ. It's nearly the end of recommendations month and I haven't written any of my cards.
Uh-oh. Society will shun you now.
Sure will. That's me on the fucking back step for the rest of the year.
Oh, God. I'm going to tell everyone.
Whilst you're at it, one of the people you could tell.
Well, your friend.
I think it's my friend Lucy May Clipsham who recommended this one. I believe. I'm pretty sure it's her. She did it through Patreon.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Because she's a fabo
I sent her a little message saying, hey, that was you who recommended this, right? And she didn't reply. So there's every chance that all social ties have been severed. And this is a loving memorial to my ex-friend. In which case, here's looking at you, kid, I guess. Lucy has recommended, based undoubtedly on the excellent Jenny Nicholson YouTube review, which is the only reason most people have heard of this fucking thing, Randy Moore's 2013 indie horror flick, Escape from Tomorrow.
Yeah.
I wrote Land, but I don't think that's correct.
No, many people wanted to escape from Tomorrowland.
I certainly did.
People come here because they want to feel safe. Bad things happen everywhere. Especially here.
There's something going on here. It's this place!
Daddy, let's go home.
The film was shot without permission at Disney World and Disneyland using guerrilla filming techniques. They did things like insist the camera crew shave their facial hair and wear tourist clothes, because no one with facial hair would ever go to Disneyland.
That does make a lot of sense.
It's not credible.
Yeah.
They literally weed you out of the gate and beat you up in a bin.
Do they put you in the bin first before beating you up?
It's a lot easier that way. It's more compact. And they can get a few of you in, and then every punch is definitely going to be hitting some kind of terrible hippie they don't want to.
You know what, mate? I love this job. It's as easy as punching a bearded tourist in a barrel.
They smuggled in cameras, kept their scripts on their phones, and after 10 days of filming, Moore says they never really noticed us.
Yeah. Which is impressive. It's just a testament to the size and scale of Disneyland and the jadedness of the security team.
I just like the idea of fucking Moore coming in like Mission Impossible on his wires in the background, like stealthing and doing backflips, and the fucking security guard's just eating a hot dog and staring at his phone.
You saying we ain't working?
He was so worried that Disney would suppress the film due to its negative portrayal of the parks that he edited the film in South Korea. No one can find you there. And the Sundance Film Festival released no details ahead of the film's premiere, and Disney responded by ignoring the film. Very much like the other two films that were shot in a similar way earlier than this.
Yeah, like that they are one of the few people clearly who have learnt that no publicity.
Ignore it.
Yeah. No publicity.
And it literally just goes away.
Yeah, everyone goes, oh, well, I guess it's not amazing then.
Critics didn't like it much, but the film got a lot of press because of how it was filmed. It's kind of like, I don't know, imagine if Sainsbury's brought out a really mediocre pie. Just imagine. And
Can't.
they thought to themselves, we can't really get people to notice these pies. There's nothing really that special about them. They're completely unremarkable. Oh, but wait, what if we get a guy on like a bike to do a jump over some of the pies? Like a kind of stunt. You know, like a stunt jump for publicity. A publicity jump.
A pie jump.
Publicity. A pie jump. That's what we can call it.
Publicity jump.
This is a classic pie jump situation.
And people will go, wow, you saw the advert. Peter Kay did that, really? And they go, yeah, I know. It must have really put the work in.
God, these pies must be something special.
And there's some Branston pickle in it, and you're like, well, I mean, that is nice, but...
What was it an advert for? I don't know. Peter Kay? I think it was Peter Kay.
Yeah.
J.R. Jones at the Chicago Reader says, "It feels very much like a theme park itself. Really exciting at first, but then your senses are dulled, and eventually you just want to go. Clearly never been to Fort Park. J.R. Jones."
Home of dreams.
So every moment is a miracle.
I'm kind of with you, J.R. Jones. They're not my regular haunt.
They're not your regular haunt. You can't be found at the what's an Australian theme park? Do you even need such a thing, or is it just because every street I was on was a fucking circus?
It was an absolute adventure. I haven't brushed up.
Put your life in your hands.
We've got Wet and Wild. Obviously, a lot of water-based ones. Wet and Wild does sound
Nice.
like a softcore Mardi Gras thing you'd see on Bravo TV, but it's a water
It's a
park.
family fun place.
Yeah, because everything's on fire, so being in water is the safest place in summer.
You got Soapy Titwank Manor. That's very much like That's very much like Alton Towers.
Yeah, cream pie Grove is my favourite.
After Sir Arthur Creampie, who colonised it.
It's a wonderful, horrible, sticky place.
Go get sticky, goes the slogan. It actually says go get sticky. Oh god.
Go ellipsis, go get sticky.
Go just get it.
Yeah,
Get it,
on.
kids. Audiences has mostly not heard of this movie, but those that has done said, Kin and King at Google says, the movie is awful. It's not even made by Disney, which makes it worse, which is a better satire of, like, the Disney mindset than this movie is.
Yeah. So much so that I didn't even really feel like... When I went back after this and read that this was, a satire of Disney, or an attack of it, I went, oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how so, sir? Because the princesses are all prostitutes. Oh,
see, I thought
bad.
that was something
someone
else.
should look into that.
Serious.
The film has 56% on Rotten Tomatoes, 58% on Metacritic, and apparently made about a third of its budget back, possibly because it could never properly be released. I guess he just did it for the notoriety, which he's been able to translate into his work on... No Threeman, but we do have a two-man, surprisingly.
Ooh.
Ashley Lambert, no relation, so far as I know, disappointingly.
Despite your fruity pronunciation of it.
It was rather fruity, wasn't it? I'm not going to call her Lambert.
Lambert.
Ashley Lumbert is uncredited in this movie as Bride at Park, but also did additional voices in Planes, a Disney film. Is nothing sacred, Randy Moore.
Did you have to take Planes from us too?
I just tear down the Planes poster in my room. Never again.
It's got a poster of Randy Moore behind it. No, Randy.
The fucking lead guy from this movie. It's great. His great presence. So, Paul, you prostitute disguised as Snow White.
I was trying to think of a Disney one-syllable noise I could make.
Oh!
But, very good.
Oh, God, was one thing that made you want to sneak nude ladies into an amusement park?
Oh, his kid was a cunt.
That was my main takeaway, too, and I loved it. I love that cunt.
The opening
kid.
made me genuinely angry, made me think maybe I could slap a kid or two.
It's always a good thing to realise about yourself. I loved it. That's actually one of my quick fires. It's that fucking kid locking the guy out of the door. I thought he was... It was a really great, coherent... I just like kids being needlessly shit. It feels very relatable to me.
Yeah. Well, going to Disney is the right place for it.
Uh-oh. All right, Paul.
Wow.
What sort of things goes on in this here anti-Disney corporate film?
Oh, well, this man, boy, because we all are.
Yeah.
He, what's his name? It's not Rob or Roy Schneider. Abrahamson?
Fuck off! I don't know Abramson. He's like Jim or something, isn't he?
No,
Is he Zebediah?
It's Jim, and he's played by Roy Abramson.
Oh right, fuck, I don't know.
Abramson.
All I know is that he's being fired by some sort of British Victorian villain.
Yeah.
So you're firing me for no real reason, then?
Well, there's a little more to it than that.
What do you mean?
I can't really discuss it right now.
Why not? What else is going on, Roger?
Sorry, old boy. I'm just a messenger. Do give my best to the family. Oh, and don't forget about soaring. My boys just won't stop talking about it. They say you actually feel while you're flying. Sounds lovely. Well...
Hey, wait, Roger, please.
Best of luck.
He's wished well, and he slaps on the balls before he goes, and his kid locks him out after he thinks he's going to have like a smiling, nice moment with his kid, which is fun.
There is some awkward home footage at the very beginning, which I assume is here before we cut to the actual movie. Oh. Oh, fuck.
It was pretty arty, and that was a weird pronunciation. I'm not used to using that word on the podcast. I apologise. As I said it, my brain slammed a filter down and went, whoa, 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 before you throw
Hang on a minute here, lads.
A word around.
I think you mean farty.
Oh, yes. It was quite
It did
farty.
smell and feel and look gaseous.
Yeah, there was a crop dusting Kevin at the front of the roller coaster, and that was a scene about how you can smell other people's farts on a roller coaster. Fuck Disney. They're a dysfunctional family in the sense that the parents fucking hate each other.
And their kids.
Yeah, and they hate the kids, or they forget that the kids are there and have needs.
Yeah, our main guy... It's not the only people he hates, though. Because our dad is also physically repulsed by some coughing people, which, I mean, feels less inexplicable now in this context. Yeah. But at the time, I still think was a bit full on.
Well, one of my quick fires, actually. I can relate, even pre-COVID.
I do remember that, actually. I do remember us being on the DLR once, and a guy was coughing, and you were really perturbed.
Cover your mouth, you swine.
You were beating him for minutes.
He just kept coughing the more I beat him.
Oh, but look, he's not repulsed by everyone around him.
No, there are some lovely little French girls.
Yeah, some very young-looking, braces-wearing French girls.
Yes.
But the teens actually seem to be more into his son.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, do it, kid. Close the deal, son.
Go on, son. Every hole.
Get it. Get it, kid. The teens enjoy singing the same song over and over again and tussling each other. Yeah. Well, they love that.
The French and
the young
nuts.
Girls. They love nudging each other with their hips. It's all the rage.
He follows them for a bit, and his wife sort of doesn't mention it for quite a while, which is impressive.
Quite a while, even though it is very overt. They do enter the magic castle.
Yes.
And the troubling thought occurs to me that America doesn't really have any real ones of those.
No.
And it's just not the same, going through a portcullis when you know that many, many men didn't meet their death there while burning oil was poured onto them. But, you know, still, Americans do have plenty of artifacts of violent history they can visit.
Yeah.
The Alamo, Gettysburg, any high school, the Capitol buildings.
That's a new joke you get to do.
New for 2021.
Kiss the sun. So, like the French girls. So they split up. Yeah. The dad goes with the son who wants to go on the Buzz Lightyear ride.
Not until after Jim does try to fuck his wife in front of his family on one of the rides.
Oh, yeah.
And then guilts her for not doing that.
This is so cute. Look at flying
Hey, babe.
blue.
Come on.
No, honey, what are you doing? No, honey, not now.
What? What are you worried about, honey? It's all right.
Kids, not now.
Come on.
Not now. Not now.
What?
Not
No one's around. Come on.
Not in front of the kids. Take your... No. Take your hands. Honey, not here. No. Not in front of the kids. No. Stop.
Come on.
Tim.
Because it's a comedy?
The kind of comedy where you're meant to feel bad.
Yeah.
Which I love.
I love that. Whilst he's on the ride, some of the puppets go evil.
Yeah.
And the movie reassures us that there won't be any subtext today. Actual demon faces on some of the kids. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Although I did sit up and I went, oh, what's going to happen here? That was it. So
Woo!
Yeah. So now they split up finally. Just as the dad's starting to have a breakdown. He goes to queue up with the son for the Buzz Lightyear ride. And I do hate cues, Paul. Yep. I have a feeling that you're about to say that this is something that resonates not with you but with me. It made me feel like a cog in the machine and instantly sick and want to die.
Fine.
The sense of oblivion in that cue pool, I can't even.
Well, look, he still had plenty of fat people to scowl at and French women to stare at, so he had things to keep him occupied.
Oh, well, thank God we all have something in common.
After which he does decide to just straight follow them around.
Yeah, for ages.
Dad,
Yeah?
why are we following those girls?
Girls? What girls?
Those girls.
Oh, well, I guess they just like the same rides as we do.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, with his son.
Yeah.
It's important to have a bonding activity.
They do, and they do kind of bond with it. It's what a lovely moment they have.
Dad,
Yeah?
they're pretty, huh?
Well, pretty. It depends on your definition of pretty. Do you think they're pretty?
I guess.
Well, then there you go. That's your definition.
Is Mommy pretty?
Your mother. Yeah, she's beautiful.
I think so, too.
Yeah. I mean, not in a classical sense, but more in a Emily Dickinson kind of bookish Tina Fey kind of thing. Yeah, but she's beautiful, yeah.
The director demonstrates why it's so important to film things illegally on location when you can't do green screen for shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you had to do this. Oh, right. Yeah,
Cool.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there are many, many, many scenes that are weird for that reason.
Oh, God. They meet back up, and the mum decides, you know what, I'm sick of you neglecting your son. Take your daughter and neglect her for a bit. And he's like, all right, fine.
All right.
So he goes off with her, and she gets knocked over.
Yeah.
Ends up going to the nurse, and the nurse tells the dad about this cat flu thing that's going around that's making people sick. You definitely have it. What? Well, I'd say you definitely have the cat flu. It'll turn out later. That's why you're seeing things and feeling really weird. What's that? I'm just setting up the ending of the movie. What? Oh, nothing.
Oh, I thought this was a film about my psyche as an aging dad.
Cat flu.
No, cat flu, mate. SARS.
It's because Disney uses emu legs or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. Look, all these women are bitches. So then he
meets
takes
that
her to
lady.
play, and he meets a lady. Yeah, he meets a lady with her boobs all out.
Oh, they're everywhere.
And a pendant. And
Yes.
she's doing something very, very obviously, and obviously he's too busy gorging on his turkey leg, which is possibly emu.
Maybe emu. Oh, what?
Oh, that's so different now.
That's not turkey, you know. What you're eating, it's not turkey.
No? Well, if it's not turkey, then what is it?
You really want to know?
Well, now you have to tell me.
Emu.
What?
Emu.
Emu?
It's a bird.
That's so wrong.
Oh,
But yeah, cut to them having sex, which might be a dream, might not be, but then
not
he's
be.
back with the wife who's all naggy.
she's so naggy, Paul.
I hate doing plots on stuff like this because it's exaggerated and dumb on purpose.
Yeah.
It's an attempt at comedy. Any bizarre or weird shit that we can talk about, like maybe the French girls are going to show up again and we can say that's improbable, or like fucking the wife's going to be super unreasonable, or Jim continues to be bad to his family. It's all just like on purpose and part of the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like, we're clearly not meant to like him, and none of this is being presented as real or authentic, so it's like trying to demolish a bouncy castle with a sledgehammer. There's just nowhere good to hit it.
But it can be fun, and it can be fun to watch. And I think that...
Us flailing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he goes, What's
That's
he
true.
doing? Look at him. He keeps trying to hit it with the hammer.
Go to a corner.
We've been attempting a lot of jokes, Paul, and I think some of them, like the hammer, are going to bounce off in just the right way and hit a child in the face.
Fuck yeah, that's all I can hope for. Alright, let's go to Epcot then.
Please. So is this after the intermission, or
I can't remember where the intermission is, actually.
he gets tasered in the balls?
Oh,
and
that's
then
not
there's
yet.
an
Yeah, okay.
intermission?
He goes to Epcot where he sees the fat guy whose kid knocked over his kid,
Oh yeah.
which gets him all weirded out, which is ridiculous, but I think the film knows that, so no.
Yeah, he's a bad man.
Yeah, he's a bad man. But then he throws up because he has the flu that they mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And the wife hates it because she's all naggy.
Is she wearing sunscreen?
What's the matter? What do you mean from this morning?
No, Jesus, Jim. You have to reapply the sunblock before they go swimming.
I mean, he's hammered at this point. He keeps drinking.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And getting that sort of weirdly shittily violent, aggressive towards his wife, who just keeps saying, please stop drinking this much in front of our kids. It's their holiday, really. This is Disney.
Yeah.
And he's an awful
Stop being
man.
such a dick. Hang on a minute. You bought me the wrong weird bell thing? You're an asshole. I hate you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you want to...
Oh.
What?
Dumbo, Jim?
What's the matter?
You got me Dumbo?
Isn't that the one you want?
Minnie Mouse, Jim. I said I want. You know what? Never mind.
You should go lech on younger, less naggy women. Okay. But then she goes outside and sees one of the French girls and has like a demon face. So
what's this going to mean?
So she's not just a cipher? She's a POV character too? I don't know.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Maybe it's a fantasy of the guy again. He was like, oh, what's going to happen if my wife and these young, lovely French ladies were to meet up and have a menage a trois? Oh, there are two American dudes there and one of them is a demon. My imagination sucks.
Damn it. We get reminded that he lost his job at the beginning, which I had forgotten.
I'd definitely forgotten.
Yeah, I'd forgotten.
And she hates that.
So
that's cause for her to cancel the whole holiday. Come on, kids, we're leaving, she says. Pack your balls up, stop crying.
She punches her daughter a bit, and then the daughter decides to go with him instead. I start writing down a sequence of events that's happening, and then it gets weird. Then it turns out to be a dream, so I just stop. And that's kind of the rest of the movie. But it does end up at a sequence where he gets spat at by one of the French girls, which might be important later.
Does that give him the cat flu?
Well, yes, it does, and I'm going to remark upon that later, because he's been acting like he has cat flu already. But later on, it definitely implies that he caught it there, which... Yeah. It's the one real logical inconsistency at this film.
Is the film.
It's the film. He gets tased in the balls, there's an intermission, and then he gets arrested by a scientist who keeps taking his glasses on and putting them off again.
It's like a real scientist.
It must be on purpose, it's too shit.
Only that's the real you, and a part of your imagination you never sought to use. You want to take the boy, and the security was meet you out to the right at the land pavilion.
But look at my range. He looks a bit like Jurgen Klinsmann, which is weird.
Fuck yeah, I'll get behind that. Does he escape by spunking on the console?
He's got, I think it's his foot cream that he's squeezing, and it lands, it arcs like spunk through the air onto pictures of ladies' asses that are in this lab.
Yep, that's why I thought he came, because there's naked women on the walls. And it does have a very spunky consistency. Foot cream can do when it's made specifically to look like spunk, and as all good ones are.
So yeah, I'm sure the symbolism of this is apt and choice,
palpable,
and riff and rife and Blife.
Fucking potent, mate.
And then he escapes because
he manages to escape. He cuts off the scientist's fucking head. And he goes to find his daughter, but the daughter's been captured by the ex-princess he might have had sex with earlier. Oh no! Yeah. And then they get away from her.
Oh yeah, she's fine. But she says something about princesses. She takes them, and she killed a kid at Disneyland when she was a princess.
That was it. Yeah, perfect. She's creepy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the scientist was a robot.
Yeah, the whole time. So he takes his daughter home after defeating the evil princess woman.
Yep.
Whatever. And he sings her a lullaby. And then shits himself to death in the toilet whilst his son ignores him.
Yeah.
That is actually a leading circumstance of death in men. Almost all of us are going to die shitting ourselves to death whilst our sons just close the door quietly.
It sometimes takes longer. Sometimes can take many years.
You will be allocated a son if you do not have one. To just say, "Oh, Dad," and then close the door, and that's you.
That's how you know. Oh, God. Whether I leave this in the podcast or not, Paul, will depend on the final runtime and how it sounds on re-listen. But
I killed a kid.
God, I'm I really did. I shot one. It's not as funny when Reginald Val Johnson says it. Oh, God, I thought I sharted yesterday, Paul.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Whilst you're out and about.
Yeah, I was at work and I'd had some food that may or may not have had dairy in it, and I thought, I think this is fine because it usually doesn't, but it is Australia. It's home of putting dairy in things to make it fancy. And
potent dairy as well out in Australia. The cows, they mean business.
and I let a fart rip, and I went, I don't know now. I think this is going to be the worst day of my life. So I had to go and check.
Nice.
And I hadn't. So what a glorious day that turned out to be.
I once was going into I was going to North London very early in the morning. It was about 6 a.m. start, and I'd eaten some bad food the night before. I can't remember what it was. But I was on my way in, and suddenly it had the stirrings. But the train was packed, and I knew if I stood up, I was going to lose my seat. And also, I didn't really fancy my chances of squeezing my way through to the toilet. So I just waited till we got to London Bridge.
Yeah.
And got off, was in a lot of pain, found a woman on platform, because I never use public toilets, but so I didn't know where they were. And I asked the woman, where are the toilets? And then I shat myself as she was telling me. So you could see the urgency decrease. So oh, excuse me, can you help me find the toilets, please?
Oh, never mind.
Yeah. You can take your time.
It's such a fine line that you tread, because I thought I was taking a risk anyway. And that day I was lucky, but there have been times 5 minutes from then where you've just gone, no, I did shit myself. I've definitely shat myself. So that's the end of this dad. And
this dad's fucked. He has cat flu, and he called it off the spitting French girl.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because I thought he had it much longer than that. Because imagine if Bruce Willis in The Sixth Sense hadn't been dead the whole time, just like the last 2 scenes. It came out in the end. Oh yeah, I died 2 scenes ago.
You go,
oh. It kind of make more sense.
When he was shot at the beginning. But
yeah, he recovered.
I guess,
and then he just fell into a manhole about 2 scenes ago.
Yeah. So the weird psychosis stuff was Disney, and the throwing up was booze, and all the other stuff was just him being a wreck.
At the very end, when he shot himself to death, that was just cat flu. So the wife...
That was the French girl.
The wife finds him dead in the morning, and so the technicians come and take him away and give the son fake memories of having been on the Buzz Lightyear ride. Commentary about Disney memories being artificial. It's too late for that sort of thing. They scrape up Jeff, or whatever the fuck his name was, and take him away.
Yeah.
We get some big crowd shots of Disney that I think are meant to be sad or frightening, because some of them are in slow motion. And another Jeff shows up with a sexy wife and a sexy kid.
Yeah.
And, the body gets driven off, and the 2 French girls fly in as angels to reassure all of us that none of this was meant to be taken seriously. I feel
Please, for the love of
unnourished.
God. Did you not hear the accordion music that was playing through most of it?
And that's kind of the end of Escape. That's how we escaped from tomorrow.
Oh, I get it.
By embracing today.
Aw.
So, Paul, what did you think of Escape from Tomorrow Land?
It was interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of what everyone said. That's kind of what all the critics said. They were like, "Huh, well, I've not seen something exactly like that before. I'm not sure I liked it, but it was a thing."
It was jarring and disjointed, and
Yes.
it was distracting, and it was very confusing and not particularly cohesive either. But it was interesting. It was ambitious.
It was.
And
it was incompetent in as much as it tried to be funny and wasn't.
Yes.
And tried to be scary and wasn't. And, sexy, insightful, and just wasn't really. But it wasn't incompetent in terms of, how it was made, how it was written. I do feel like there's a coherent vision on screen there. It's just not a very good vision.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, and I think this is quite an important discussion for all of us to be having when talking about film and the status of film criticism these days. Because this isn't as bad as Jenny Nicholson's video makes it look. Her video makes it seem like... Did you watch it?
I skimmed through it yesterday after seeing Ellen's OGT.
Oh, yeah. So her video makes it seem like this is a very kind of inept and mean-spirited dig at Disney. And the people who like theme parks as well. It makes it seem like it's a big fuck you to everyone who likes Disney. And I'm completely sure that's how it felt to her watching it. That's the experience she had. She watched this and found it to be a big fuck you to Disney.
Yeah. Also a big theme park fan.
Yeah, she's a huge theme park fan, so fair enough. It resonated with her in that way. Fair enough.
Yeah.
The thing is, we, film critics, podcasters, whatever, we cherry pick the moments that best represent our opinion of the film. We aren't trying to mislead you by any means, just back up our subjective opinions with examples from the text, which is fair enough. You might like Zombie Women of Satan. I hated it, and so our episode is a testament to our experiences of hating that film.
Yeah.
And is not, by any means, a substitute for watching it. You can't listen to our episode and think, oh, I've got the gist of that. I know everything there is to know about that.
Yeah, conversely, me just yelling, how did he get back to Gotham, is not...
It's not legitimate.
Yeah. A criticism of an argument. Criticism of The Dark Knight Rises.
Sure. But that does bring me on to the next point, because I had way more fun watching Jenny Nicholson's review of this film than watching this film. Maybe her video is not a completely accurate or neutral account of the film, but it's a 5-star bit of content that she's put together, whilst this is 2 max, maybe even pushing me towards 1.
Okay.
And similarly, I kind of hope our review of Zombie Women of Satan is more entertaining than that fucking movie. It's just not a replacement for it.
Yeah.
It's not the crit notes of it, the spark notes.
You can tell that Jenny Nicholson is angry about the movie.
Yeah.
And
which makes it compelling.
Yeah, definitely. And weirdly not, just, you know, in spite of all the criticisms of the movie, the ambition there, what I found interesting is there is a weird kind of nuance, or like maybe there is shades in there, and
yeah, well,
they are kind of obscured by our emotionally charged review.
Yeah, I think so, because, you know, Nicholson presents the film as having failed to put forward a compelling main character, but he's definitely meant to be an asshole. There's no chance that we're meant to like this guy or relate to his leching after women or being... You know, he's sickened by Disney, but... I mean, I think this is meant to be a very surreal comedic commentary about how the director felt as a dad going through Disneyland.
Yeah.
Because everything feels vaguely exhausting, everyone gets stressed and irritable, and I guess he was also horny and creeped out by his fellow park-goers?
Yeah.
It all feels very subjective to our main character. Like, this doesn't necessarily feel like a takedown of Disney, like, here's what's really secretly wrong with Disney, as much as it's, I went around Disney and had a miserable time, here is a sort of surrealistic horror film that explores the emotions I felt.
Yes.
As that happened.
It's a subjective piece. We are forced, Last of Us 2 style, or Last of Us style, to accompany the character on really uncomfortable, discomforting scenes where he just, debases himself. By just giving in to his urges and his psyche. And one of the main things I got from this in the first half was it's just this dad's unbridled psyche running rampant, mostly in his own head.
Yeah,
and it just, you know, he was fired at the beginning of it. He's not in the greatest shape. He's in a loveless marriage. One of his kids at least hates him.
Rightfully hates him.
But on the other side, he does have all this negative stuff in him and instincts that he's just unlocked and is just allowing himself to enjoy. He's a bad man and he's in quick decline. It's like falling down.
Yeah. I think it's subjective a little bit, but it feels to me that whenever he fails to interact with Disney or his family, it's a failing on his part rather than Disney's part. You know, and when it comes to actually taking on Disney, he's more interested in looking at, like, obviously fake urban legends about all the Disney princesses actually being escorts that that important guests can, you know, sleep with. That's just not going to be true. The emu leg thing is just weird, and it's like those things are just part of the overall experience of him being a dad on holiday, and could really be on holiday anywhere. The point is that it's the holiday and the being close to his kids and the lack of freedom that's really getting to him.
Yeah.
If you want to make a takedown of Disney, there's things you can do. You know, I don't have theme parks as really part of my childhood thing. Like, we did go to Fort Park a few times, but I don't have any particular memories with it. But I don't have any real issues with it. But if you wanted to do a takedown of, like, Disneyland, you could talk about the artificiality of the experience, the commercialization of it, the false, you know, standards of beauty offered by the Disney princesses, and the somewhat troubling conservative family messages. But none of that's being addressed here. It's just about how bad it is to have to look after your kids all the time.
Yeah, and the one thing I did get from it was the idea that, you know, with a Disneyland holiday, or Disney World, it comes with expectations.
Sure.
You're going to the most magical place on earth, and like, surely this holiday is going to have to be perfect. It's going to have to be everything your kids want it to be, or everything you as a family want it to be. And it's just completely unrealistic to think that you're going to be like the people in the videos.
Yeah.
Just laughing constantly as they're trying to eat hot dogs, or whooping as they go around a roller coaster.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not sure I did get that. And I didn't get the whole thing with the scientist either. Like, he gets pulled in by this scientist and he says, you've got this big imagination and, you know, all the rest of it. But what I didn't get... Again, it just didn't feel like there was a clear analogy going on. Like, what's this about?
No. Well, that's it. My point there was not something I picked up from the movie. It was just going on from the conversation about theme parks in general.
Yeah.
Which is, as we said, this pool doesn't... Did I just say this pool?
This pool is
This
wrong.
pool is very disappointing. Yeah.
Yeah.
this pool is completely underwhelming, and an incoherent mess, and just leching on so many French girls. But this film, is also is not a cohesive film. So
no,
I'm talking about subjectively, you know, how I would feel, or like what I imagine is going to add pressure to a Disneyland holiday. None of it comes across in the movie.
Yeah,
and it's still the first half of it. You are just stuck in this guy. It's like a prison. This guy's psyche, his awful perversions. I say awful perversions. He's just acting on his inner perversions.
Yeah,
which is why after the intermission, it became less about that, and it became more about the cat flu and the weirdness of Disney.
Yeah,
and I would say maybe it would have been a 3-star if things would have carried on for me. Like if things would have carried on in that vein. But when it got, from the point he got tasered in the nuts and sort of cried out but was also enjoying it, and then the scientist came, and then it got even weirder than it was. And zanier, I think, is the key difference. It got zanier rather than just discomforting. It did lose me more than it already was.
I mean, it lost me a little bit with like the demon faces on the dolls and the It's a Small Rat World. It was like, okay, this isn't going to be like a force majeure, you know, kind of thing. This is going to be very campy kind of horror.
It's not particularly deep. You're not watching Lolita, are you?
You know, it's not particularly deep. It's a unfunny remake of National Lampoon's Vacation for a great deal of it. National Lampoon's Vacation actually hit the nail better on the head when it comes to how overwhelming and completely difficult family holidays are. So, yeah, I would actually say that you'll probably find a more coherent message and more entertaining experience from the Jenny Nicholson video than from the film. It's certainly the one I prefer. It's a curio. You know, it's an interesting little novelty, but I suspect if you didn't actually tell someone how it was made, they'd find very little to be really interested in it.
Well, this is it. Before I saw this, I knew nothing about it really. I knew that it was. I didn't even realize it was at Disneyland.
Right.
So I started watching it, knowing it was meant to be a sort of black comedy horror. And you know, it came on. It's black and white, and I went, "Oh, okay, well that's interesting." Just sort of low budget indie, or is it a stylistic choice? And then I started reading about it and think, well, this is interesting. At least it's semi original. So I didn't have any expectations going in, and therefore it didn't really exceed or fail my expectations. It was just a thing. So I didn't come into it knowing about all the Sundance hype, nothing.
Yeah.
So I've slipped through the other end,
right?
Like wet soap through so many hands.
Yeah.
Largely unaffected by it, like you said.
I was disappointed. I was disappointed that it wasn't the sort of, you know, cynical kind of hard-hearted Disney takedown kind of video. However wrong-headed that might have ended up being. I was
because it would have been a cohesive movie. With a message.
Yes, exactly. I was disappointed to find that it wasn't just a guy trying to piss on a bunch of chips, but instead it's just a kind of families, kind of movie, but with weird imagery. And I was very annoyed at the fact that it was going to undercut any kind of structural integrity the damn thing had with a sort of layer of irony that kind of defends it from any kind of criticism. You know, that always makes the plots really miserable to do, because it's like, this didn't make sense. Yeah, it's comedy. Ugh.
You just didn't get it. It seems like everything was done on the fly, including the script. So
yeah, true. It felt like they had the idea for the stunt before they had the idea for the delicious pie. But let's get in that pie and start talking about the things we liked. Quickfire.
I did like the opening sequence, the roller coaster footage with the wistful orchestral music. It was quite calming and pleasant.
Good stuff. I liked the title card at the end of it. It had like it had the right stuff at the bottom, and it was a nice font on black background. It was like a movie. Yeah,
like an MGM classic.
Yeah, or like La La Land, which I think also had the sort of which also did that, the sort of stylized 50s. Put the copyright at the bottom of the image. 50s and 60s kind of pastiche. I like that.
This did it before La La Land. So
fuck yeah.
Fuck you, Damien Chazelle. You enjoy all that. You deserve all that Oscar embarrassment.
You directed Moonlight, did you? No.
Could have done that.
Could have. Had the idea. I tried to film it inside of SeaWorld. But they fucking got me, man. They fucking got me. Put me in with the orcas. You don't fuck with SeaWorld.
Don't fuck with SeaWorld, Cineworld. None of them. the times when the dad, his unnerving expression as he's ogling these French teenagers, it did bring to mind, like old and racy French movies, or the stereotypical, like the thing that Reeves and Mortimer parodied in the sketches from The Smell of Reeves and Mortimer. The ones I mean. Yeah.
I did the farting ones, right? The
the farting ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is one where John Thomas just has a sponge cake.
I don't know who John Thomas is.
Oh no, maybe it's Charlie Hickson. It could be Charlie Hickson. John Thomas from The Flash Show.
Oh, that's not John Thomas. What's his name? John Thompson?
John Thompson. Oh, okay, well,
right.
I just
thinking
dub over
John Thomas, like a penis.
Like a penis. I always get it mixed up because John Thomas is the penis, and I keep thinking
John Thompson is a wonderful comedic actor, so it's very hard to keep them separate.
Yes,
he's a penis in real life.
Oh, John Thompson, I apologize to you. I will. John Thompson. There we go. I'll dub it in later. Later, not earlier. Yes, Charlie Hickson. Charlie Hickson squashing the cake, and the woman just being very, very impressed. It's great. Anyway,
cool.
That's the end of my point.
Yeah.
What a mess.
Oh wait, it finished.
Oh no.
I love the kid locking the door. I just thought it was a really good opening statement of, oh fuck kids.
Yeah.
It was just I enjoy kids being dicks for no reason whatsoever. It's one of the things I always loved about Malcolm in the Middle, and I just loved the kid just locking the door and just calmly going back to bed.
Mm-hmm.
That was good.
That is true.
Yeah.
It's a good thing we don't have them. It's like they're being dicks to other people.
I'm still the kid.
Because you can't kill someone else's kid.
Not legally.
No.
You can kill your own, legally, but
yeah, exactly.
Someone else's, no. You can encourage them to do it.
You can technically get away with it. I assume the ride therein was meant to. That song was meant to be "It's a Small World" after all, but it was just. But maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Do you remember that?
No, yeah, they couldn't get the rights to it. Yeah, they couldn't get the rights to use "It's a Small World" after so they wrote after Ooh. So they wrote their own shitty version of it.
Shitty in a sneering sort of way. But it was suitably awful. I think it achieved what it set out to do. Made me feel bad.
I did really want it to end. In that sense, the whole movie was a rousing success. There's an arty shot I quite liked.
Yes.
There's just after the daughter has gotten out of the pool, the mum is drying her, and there's water spread around the place, and it's somehow the dark colour on brick. It just made it look like blood was like strewn about, and I don't even, looking back on it, remember why the scene is important, why we get the shot of the mother drying the daughter off. The dad's just in the pool leching after the teens again, having some weird fantasy about going over and approaching them. But
I guess it gives you context for what the mum's doing, and you're expecting her to turn and see him at any moment.
Oh right,
which was making it tense
like a
for me.
Thing.
Yeah, it was working.
No, not me. I was just asleep. But I woke up and saw that, and I was like, "Huh,
that's pretty." Anyway, back to wanking. It was effectively unnerving how predatory this guy was. It really did make me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. It was awful.
Very effectively communicated.
And you can imagine like the horror of being the kid in that situation of just like, Dad, leave him alone.
Yeah.
This is awful. I hate this. And I did like the similarly very shortly after that moment with the daughter showering, I liked him pretending to be drowned in the pool, like floating upside down. Then ruined by a somewhat awkward gag of him getting dragged by lifeguards. But the image of him just floating face down there was quite dramatic and good.
Yeah.
Might have been Sunset Boulevard.
Ooh. Yep, that's me. Dead idiot.
Dead idiot. How did I get to be in a situation like this?
Dead fucking moke. Sunset Boulevard was weird.
Yeah, it was.
First time the toy started looking demonic, I actually quite liked the effects on it, because it was fairly smooth. And subtle isn't the right word, but it just wasn't too
overt.
Overt, maybe. Yeah, there was just something about it. I guess necessity breeds invention, because they had a low budget, so they had to do something. Whether it was just merging it with another image or something, but it didn't look like just a hot CGI mess.
Yeah. No, it was underplayed, and I seem to remember like half noticing it the first time. Which was good, but then it was, several times in a row, and I don't know, it started to feel a bit cheap as the movie ran on. But you're right, the first time it was a fairly good effect of just blink and you miss it, did that really happen kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I liked him and his kid riding the soaring exhibit. They're just in this like chair, and it sort of dangles them over this big screen showing soaring vistas and such. And it was quite a nice little moment he was having with his kid. And he looks over to his kid, like really impressed to see what the kid's reaction is. And it was a nice father-son moment. And then the naked ladies appear, and it's just kind of back into his shitty kind of inner thing. And it was like, okay,
yeah, here we go.
I mean, they're implying that Disneyland is kind of meant to make you feel horny, like that's somehow part of its alluring effect. I don't
know. I
mean, have you seen Goofy? Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Balls on that dog. When
Dogs
he's in
DAWG.
The only way. That's how I refer to actual dogs, but I am sexually attracted to dogs, so it's consistent. When they're in the line for the Buzz Lightyear ride, the dad goes, honey, this might be a while, and the kid just goes, yup. Like, not budging at all. Is not going to be swayed to leave this queue.
Yeah, well, I don't know what he fucking expects from that. It's just, it's going to be a while. What does he want the kid to say? Like, oh, well then. Yes, best leave it. Right. He's a fucking kid. But he did then afterwards say, you sure you don't want us to go get the fast pass or something? And it's like, okay, so maybe there's an option there. But it was so passively aggressive that this could take a bit of time.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I liked, and the kid just doesn't get what he's getting at.
Yeah.
Like, I know.
We're going to be here for ages, I think he says later on. And it's, it was a nice moment of just the dad completely fucking failing to communicate with the kid. Which ties into my final thing, actually.
Oh, okay.
Which is the theme of a young boy hating his dad. I like how subtle it is throughout, the idea that the kid just doesn't like his dad very much, and it's kind of confirmed in the final moment where he once again closes the door on his dad, who's in need. I like the idea that somewhat harmless prank at the beginning was actually something representative of a much broader problem, which is that this kid hates his dad. Yeah. I don't even know if that was meant to be sort of overtly the case, but I don't know, considering, what the director has said about how, he went to Disneyland with his dad, and which is also part of I think it's clear the main character is like a critique of his own particular attitudes and behavior. But, it was interesting. I like the idea of the sort of cyclical nature of, kids hating their dads for not being able to live in the moment with them. And that just kind of continuing on and on.
Yeah, I think so. It was definitely there throughout, and it was probably the most subtle and cohesive part of the movie.
Yeah. And then he spends half the movie with his daughter, and it's like, what's that part about?
Just ignoring his son. Well, I liked when the nurse is looking after the daughter, she asks if she's having fun as she's treating her cut on her knee. And it was just sweet, like, distracting her with a question, because she immediately starts going, yeah, I had fun, I did this and that. And, kids, you dumbasses. Fall for anything.
Fucking idiots. There's
a moment when he's in a cubicle in the bathroom, and he takes off his toe plaster because he cuts it on a beer bottle that he smashes. He drops and it smashes, and he cuts his toe on it. And, like, he takes the bandage off, and it's really dirty, and the black and white accentuates that. It really manages to emphasize how filthy it is, and he just dabs a whole bunch of, like, whether it's Neosporin or something, just an antiseptic. He just dabs a whole bunch in it, and then puts the dirty dressing back on the toe. It was gross, Paul. It was really, really unsettling.
Like trying to sort out your shattered underpants in a London Bridge bathroom. Yeah. It's just it's not where anybody wants to be at that moment in their life.
The question is, when do you take them off, and whose bag do you put them in?
Whose problem do you make this?
The lady you just tried to get to help you? Probably.
Yeah, definitely. It's her fault, basically.
Basically. Well, my final one is when the dad is dead from cat flu, and we get a shot of him with his happy face, and it then cuts to the Disneyland employee who's watching him, and the shot is from below. It's black and white and backlit. He kind of looked like a German villain from the 40s. It was very striking, sort of Prussian sort of sternness, and it was a really striking. Do you know what else it reminds me of? Willem Dafoe from The Lighthouse. It was that kind of whoa, Jesus, sort of striking profile, it's very ominous and distinctive, similar to your shot of the mum sun creaming the daughter with the water sort of artfully sloshed about.
Yeah.
There's another very impressive shot.
All right, well, good stuff. All right, well, what about the OG team?
Oh, gosh, let's see if the OG team had anything to say.
You know them at home. You love them. You hear about their antics each week. But what have they been up to? Have they been seeing Escape from Tomorrow?
What have they been thinking? What have they been doing? What are their secret wishes and hopes?
Hey, what have they been wearing? Am I fucking right?
Oh, my gosh. OG team, what are you wearing? Tweet in.
What are you wearing? Who are you wearing? How can we also be wearing that? These are the questions we need answered right now.
Dick pics appreciated. Solicited, in fact.
Anyone's dicks.
Anyone's. Ellen Graham's. She writes in to say, Jenny Nicholson's deep dive and dunking on this movie means I never have to see it for myself. Wellen.
Ah.
I was about to say, Ellen.
Wellen.
See what I did there?
Welland Garden City. You're not going to get that reference.
As I said, as in my head, I was going, okay, you're going to say Well Ellen. Before I said it, my brain went, okay, you say that and then say Wellen, and it's going to be a fun portmanteau. But I just said Wellen because I'd had the thought so quickly. Wellen.
Fuck yeah, you're too quick for your own good, mate.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. That's pretty much... No one understands what I'm saying at any moment. Everyone thinks I'm serious all the time.
Everyone thinks I'm having some kind of seizure. It's actually just my thought process. Ellen's just waiting patiently for us to dunk on her, so...
Yeah. Hey, fuck you, Ellen. This fucking
Fuck you,
guy.
Ellen. Come on. What did we just talk about? You can't anticipate our conversations?
What's wrong with you?
At this stage? Come on now.
Oh.
No, I mean, to be honest, always ask a grown-up whether or not you should watch past the review. Sometimes I think a review makes you think, oh, I'd like to watch that. Sometimes a review is like, oh, okay, I get the idea.
Yeah.
I think that's true of Escape from Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Where maybe she did present it in her own way with her own sort of spin on the content that's there. But nevertheless, I do think you can glean enough from her review to know that it's not a film that you're going to fucking be blown away by.
Yeah.
So,
no, I would say that. I would say, as a podcaster who watches bad movies every week, this was refreshing because it was interesting. It was 10 times as interesting as The Last Days of American Crime Netflix original.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Cancel Glow. So at least there was that. It was when Nell asked me how it was. So I was like, yeah. I mean, it was bad, but it was fine as an experience. And whereas
it wasn't bad, it was bad.
Bad.
So bad.
I wouldn't recommend. It's not like I'm gonna then say everyone needs to watch this. This isn't Showgirls or Vampire's Kiss.
The two good films that we did,
or Gem and the Holograms. Yeah. But the two good films.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. It's more entertaining. Definitely watch Jenny Nicholson's video, everyone, because it's a really good laugh. And very interesting as well. And she brings a lot more into it as well. She goes and looks at like interviews with the fucking guy, and really gets into stuff. But as an actual movie, just watching this thing, it's fine. It's unfocused, unclear.
Much like our discussion.
But just because you watch a YouTube video of the thing doesn't mean you should necessarily rule it out. But in this case, you should.
Yeah. Thanks, Ellen. Thanks, OG Ellen.
Thanks, Ellen. Any other one from the other OG team?
That's it. Thanks, OG team.
OG team picks. Let's talk about the one better thing. The one better thing.
So, thinking of guerrilla filmmaking or things done on a small budget, just off the seat of your pants, the cuff of your balls.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, is the Darren Aronofsky Mathathon Pie. This made by with Darren Aronofsky selling shares of the film to family and friends for $100 each.
Right.
This is it's a small budget, big ideas. It's a densely layered movie and just thrilling as this guy deep dives into this like dark world of math with secret cabals and and
gorgeously stylistic. It's beautiful black and white photography, incredibly frantic editing, really grungy aesthetic.
Now, did Aphex Twin do the soundtrack, or was
I don't know.
Let me just check that out quickly.
Surely it was Clint. Surely it was Clint.
It was, yes.
It was old Clinty Mansell.
Clinty Manso, as he's known. I think maybe was it Bucephalus Bouncing Ball was used in Pi. Anyway, I think there was an Aphex Twin thing in there. But Clint Mansell, the beginning of a beautiful relationship. It's just a fucking exciting film over what seems like a small concept, but it just gets bigger and bigger. And bespeaks of, all the great things that were to come later.
Yeah, absolutely. Two quick ones for you then. In terms of low-budget filmmaking techniques and sort of guerrilla filmmaking on the streets with handheld cameras, with Disney kind of looming large on the horizon throughout the entire thing, you got the Florida Project. Really interesting and excellent film from a few years ago, entirely shot on iPhone, I think. It was a similar method to the previous film by that filmmaker. I'm sorry, I've forgotten his name. Tangerine, I think, was the other earlier film. Bibbly Bong. But yeah, it's a beautiful film about a very poor family living inside of a motel run by Willem Dafoe. I don't have any of the name of the performers because they were mostly sort of amateurs and people who were sort of from that area. And it's eerie because they're grifting, they're trying to get by, they're selling magazines, they're just trying to live day to day. And Disneyland is just kind of there. At one stage, they've stolen... She works as a sex worker, and she's stolen some day passes off of the guy, the John, for, and she tries to then sell them, and then it has this big climax that's kind of set there. It's very interesting the way in which Disneyland is kind of manifest, and there are like strangers who are doing their honeymoon at Disneyland who sort of are staying in the hotel, and it's just kind of in the background, this massive corporate place, and it's just interesting to see the way in which it impacts on the lives of these people without it ever being implicit or direct. And then in terms of a family holiday gone wrong, well, you got to look at Ruben Östlund's Force Majeure, which is a fucking fantastic comedy film that should not have been remade. And there's no need to remake it because it was fucking great already. It's about a family who go on a skiing holiday. There's an avalanche, the dad fucking panics and abandons his family, grabbing his phone first. And then it turns out it's not an avalanche, everything's fine, and he's got to come back to his family and face up to what he did. Yeah. It's a fucking delicious concept. It's a really funny comedy of manners and just sort of awkward social dynamics. It's got Tormund in it. It's got everything you could possibly want.
It's got those two things in it.
Yeah, check out Force Majeure and the Florida Project.
Definitely do.
And whatever Goodman talked about.
Yeah, who fucking cares? Equilibrium?
Yeah, who fucking knows? I think it was something to do with Aphex Twin.
Check out Aphex Twin, everyone.
Yeah, they're great.
He's doing some interesting stuff.
I call them they. Check out them.
I love them.
It's everything you want.
I love Aphex Twin.
I love both of them. Jimmy.
I love Aphex and Twin. Jack Aphex and Jeff Twin.
Fuck yeah. It's the duo that the electronic music world has been waiting for. And that was The One Better Thing. The One Better Thing. Paul, how can people find out about our electronic secret identities?
They can log on to Twitter, where we're doing a 24/7, 365 days a year soundscape in motion.
Using only sounds produced naturally from our bodies.
Yeah. I've got Ableton open, but I'm not using it. I've got a wire, I've got an adapter in my mouth, and I'm playing a guitar with my butt. And I'm doing a dance on the expectations of society, which Twitter is especially good for. You just need to get on there. OGT Pod, Facebook, OGT Pod. You can send us an email at gmail at ogtpod@gmail.com. Anything you want soundscaped, obviously, just let us know. Paul's the ideas guy. And we are also on Spotify for all those people who like to listen to things on the go. Unfortunately, every other app has just made it Wi-Fi only, which is really, really weird.
You have to dial in.
Yeah.
It's really inconvenient, but it's the way it is. It's the only way I would have it, and I think it's just the best way of staying in shape.
I think it's just the best way of committing to one company, and just reducing a few of those options, because by golly, we have too many of them.
Far too many.
Cheddar, Red Leicester, forget about it. We also have a Patreon where for as little as $1 a month you get access to exclusive content. Paul in your face. We've been doing a lot of the Pauls to be buried with, where we're getting deep and personal and close and sweaty and hot and close about all the questions about film, like what's a good one, what's another good one, and I tell you what,
very tough.
We've got more than one answer,
but not more than two.
Definitely not. For the love of God, I'm going to puke before I finish this sentence. So let's talk about something else. We're doing a 50 Pulls of Shade soon. We're doing a pitch.
Fuck yeah.
And I am also in the latest season of Roltercast in the Pulp Cthulhu world, playing a big old exaggerated Frenchman who's as big as Gerard Depardieu and twice as sexy. So good couple of reasons to check that out. I do have it on authority that Jack Aphex and Jeff Twin are doing the soundtrack. So that's been really exciting to work with those guys. They're up-and-comers. They're working with Baron Aronofsky, and you should check that out as well.
Absolutely. I'm Paul Spice.
I'm Baron Aronofsky.
And remember, the one good thing about Escape from Tomorrowland is But Jenny Nicholson didn't cover all of it. You know?
I do know.
There's like 5 shots in there that's good.
Nice.